It's the day I'm going home today. I wasn't even planning on doing a video today. Please, ground hopping gods, be kind with this one. I was semi-aware of the place that I'm going to be visiting today, but I didn't really fully realise its significance until last night when I was sort of just doing a little bit of research and kind of like just getting ready to leave Milan basically. I fly early this evening, which means I've got to get to the airport this afternoon. It's currently early in the morning and there's a place I really need to go. If you're watching this video, it means I've been inside and the video went off without a hitch. Or maybe you're watching this on another one of my episodes of videos I couldn't upload in a couple of months' time. Who knows? If I can't get in today, I'm gonna have to come back at some point. But yeah, there is an incredible stadium that is hundreds of years old that is used for football. I don't want to tell you too much about it. It's basically an ancient stadium here in Milan that I need to get inside. So we are now at Porta Sempione, which is one of the city gates of Milan, and it is a gate that surrounds the district of Zone 1, the historic centre of Milan. And this amazing structure in front of us is called the Arco della Pace, which means the Arch of Peace in English, and it dates back to the 19th century. It was built by a man called Luigi Cagliona, I think. My pronunciation is probably terrible. On the request of Napoleon. So I don't know if because Napoleon requested it during his reign of that time, that they've made it look like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. But one of my taxi drivers that I've had here in the time of Milan did actually tell me that this was the Arc de Triomphe of Milan, basically. That's sort of how he described it, which, I mean, you can see that, can't you? And it is in the style of one of these buildings that today's stadium is, amazingly. Look at that. Some of the detail up there at the top is just amazing. I've seen this once or twice already. I think I might have put a clip or two of it in my Monza video. Look at it. Hope you can see it okay behind me there. That building right through there, the tallest one that you can see in the back, that is a massive castle, again, that I probably would have already shown you in one or two of the videos. I may even overlay some clips of it right now. Some of the stuff in this park is just amazing to see. I've already commented on the sort of old and the new in Milan being really mixed. You'll be walking down the street and there'll be like really modern shops or high-tech finance buildings, skyscrapers, and then you'll see stuff like this around like a random corner. You'll turn a corner and just see like some mega castle. But yeah, it is a stadium that looks like it was built in and around these times of a lot of these old historic structures that I really want to see today. I've been here for a few days, like I say, and I've only just realized how significant this stadium actually is. This is it here, and it is used today by a football team. I'll be telling you who in a bit, and it has a big link to AC Milan and Inter Milan as well, and the Italian national football team too. But just look at this. I'll be telling you when it was built, early 1800s. But firstly, I want to give you my first impression of the outside, and there's some people over here who look like they're going in. Come on, please let me in, please let me in. I could find no information about this place in terms of opening hours and stuff like that the other day, or last night when I was researching online. But look at this. Have you ever seen a stadium that looks as old as this? Look at the walls of it. Viale Giorgio Byron, Poeta. Oh wow, that's actually about George Byron, the English poet. I actually didn't really realise that. I think I stayed in a hotel when I lived in Australia called the Lord Byron, and that was named after him. And now this stadium has a street which goes around it named after him, I presume. How full circle is that? But look at this, you have modern floodlights alongside these really old walls that have been here now for over 200 years, making this presumably the oldest stadium in Europe.
today. No, there is a meeting.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Is there no way in just have a quick picture of the stadium? Just one quick picture.
Del stadium. Ascolta, c'è un visitatore che vuole salire a fare una foto. Lo facciamo salire, fa solo una foto dell'arena.
Can I just go around 5
Only
minutes?
5 minutes.
That's fine, yeah, thank you so much. Grazie. Grazie mille, thank you. There's an event going on here today, so I don't know how much access I'm going to get or what I'm even allowed to film, but they just like ushered me in quickly and rushed me in. But this is absolutely amazing. Look at these old steps. There's a non-league team that plays here. This could potentially be the nicest non-league ground I've ever seen. I think that currently goes to the one that I saw up near the Christ statue in Lisbon in Portugal, but this has got to be the most unique non-league stadium in the world. Let me tell you about it quickly. It's called Arena Civica, or officially Arena Gianni Brera, and it's a multi-purpose stadium here, obviously in Milan, and was opened in August of 1807, but they broke ground in 1806, so it must have built them about a year. It must have took them about a year to build it. It's in a neoclassical architectural style, and today hosts football matches, rugby union games, concerts, and other athletics and cultural events. The stadium can apparently hold from 18,000 to 30,000 people. There are reports that say it's closer to 10,000, maybe for safety reasons, but I reckon you could cram a good 30k in here. In terms of football, it's currently used by a team called Brera Calcio, who I think on their website claim that this is the oldest stadium, maybe in the world, maybe in Europe as well. And just get a load of this. So it was obviously opened in 1807, like I say, and it was later used for football activities, mainly by Inter Milan. Initially only for the biggest matches and afterwards on a more stable basis. From 1930 until 1958, they played here, and they even played Lyon here in the Intercity Fairs Cup, and it was used, this stadium, in May of 1910 for the Italian national team's first ever official match in a 6-2 win over France. So think of Italy's national team. They've won 4 World Cups, 2 in the 30s, 1 in the 80s and 1 in 2006. They recently obviously beat England, my country, in the Euros during like the COVID years at Wembley. They played their first ever official football match here, and now they've had Francesco Totti, Alessandro Del Piero, Chiellini, Buffon, Dino Zoff, Giuseppe Meazza, all these legends of Italian football, Capello, Ancelotti. They wouldn't have had any of that if they hadn't had that first football match here against France, which they won 6-2 all those years ago. Thanks. I appreciate the time. Thank you, thank you. So this place has a dark past as well. Forget all the footballing achievements and the athletic achievements and stuff from down the years. This says, in this arena on the 19th of December 1943, so in the midst of World War II, they were shot. And look, you have the names here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and they were guilty of having conspired for the honour and freedom of the party. And then it actually says December 1963, is that when they maybe put this plaque here? I'm not sure, but look, 1943, they shot people here during the war. I mean, look at that column. Imagine being one of the like non-league players that plays here, and you get to play in this incredible old stadium, like 100 years old, in this park, surrounded by the Arc, which is over there, and the huge castle, which is over there. And if you go a little bit further through, you get to the old historic centre of the city, the Duomo, the main sort of church and cathedral here. But just, I mean, look at that. And actually, look, here's another fact for you about Milan that I don't think I've said in the videos yet. Look, doesn't that look like an England and an Italy flag? Well, why would a cross of St George be here? It isn't a cross of St George, it is the cross of who is it? Ambrose, not Effie Ambrose. The Saint of Ambrose, I think, has the same symbol, the red cross on a white background. So that's why the AC Milan badge has what looks like a cross of St George on it. It's not the cross of St George, it is the cross of Saint Ambrose. These big old floodies wouldn't have been here. The floodlights, look at this. They wouldn't have been here when the stadium was obviously first built. So they were put on the outside. The modern meets the old once again in Milan, as it does so often around this city. Since I've seen this poster, it feels like a good a time as any to tell you about the team that plays here. The team that plays here is Brera Milano, Brera FC. here they are, the team that play here. They play in these cool kits here, and look, you can follow them on all these platforms. They're a non-league team who play in the Phoenix Trophy. The Phoenix Trophy is a competition which is, well, from the name of it, for Phoenix clubs. I don't know if this is an old club of one that once played here. I'm going to tell you a little bit in just a second about them. We'll go find a seat in the park. I'm still doing a loop of the ground, but here is a poster advertising their game up against Boldklubben Skjold from Copenhagen. I wonder if that is an offshoot of Boldklubben, who were originally the team that is now FC Copenhagen. It does say Copenhagen there, and I know that there was Boldklubben, which means just ball club. They used to play ball sports. I wonder if that is an offshoot of that team. But look, they're playing on the 9th of March at 8:30, which is in 2 days time. Sadly, I won't be here. I'll be in snowy Scotland then. It is apparently snowing right now in Scotland, but yeah, look, you can email them for more information, or you can buy a ticket for €10 to come and watch them play in the Phoenix Trophy. Or maybe it's not strictly for Phoenix clubs. Maybe I'm getting the thought wrong in my mind. I thought it might have been for Phoenix clubs, or for clubs that have like historic ties to other teams anyway, because FC United and Manchester in there, and they're not technically a Phoenix club, I don't suppose, but they are a club of an offshoot of Man United fans who created that because they are unhappy with the Glazers. I made a video there, and they taught me about the Phoenix Trophy, which is essentially a non-league European competition, which is quite amazing. And yeah, this is one of the teams that play here as well in that competition, and it's just so amazing that like so many months later I visit these teams and they have all these weird connections and stuff. And the Copenhagen team as well, I did a video out there recently where I spoke about Boldklubben. Let's go on sticker watch around here. Any football stickers? Union Berlin, Porto, recently played Inter Milan. Because they played Inter Milan, they've also put a load of stickers around the city. I've seen loads of them since I've been here. They would have played over at the San Siro, where they lost 1-0 thanks to a late Lukaku goal and a man of the match performance from Onana in goal. But would they, if they had have played this fixture in the early 1900s rather than the early 2020s, they would have been playing it here. Not far from completing a full loop of the stadium, we've come round to like another entrance here, and this is one with these 4 pillars. Look at this. Wow, look at this incredible entrance. I don't think I've ever seen a better entrance to a stadium in my life than that. I've been to hundreds down the years, and just look at this. I know it has historical significance for the Italian national team. AC Milan and Inter Milan have both played here in the past as well. Now it's a non-league team, and look at that. Milan only played here for about 4 years during the same time as around World War II. So I think Milan would have played their home games here when those people were getting shot for going against like the ruling party at the time, I suppose, which is actually insane. So yeah, it's got some incredible history for those 2 big clubs. But what about the team that currently play here? I just told you a little bit about them around there, but what division do they play in? They currently play in the Seconda Categoria, which is the 8th level of Italian football, and they were founded in 2000. A team that was founded in 2000 that play in this old historic stadium. Yeah, it's not like I don't think they were here years and years and years ago. Obviously they're quite a new club, and their first manager was former Inter and Sampdoria goalkeeper Walter Zenga. So yeah, they play in the 8th level of Italian football right now. I'll show you their kits as well. Their kits and their branding is all quite nice and stuff, but yeah, just the fact that they are the tenants here. I think they might play at 1 or 2 other grounds as well. By the looks of things, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here. Obviously there's that event that is currently here just now. So yeah, I think there might some weekends be athletics, some weekends be rugby, so I don't think they can play all of their home games here, but it seems like the majority of them get played here. We've made it back round to where we began, and I'm really glad I got inside and had a quick look. I was only inside for like a few minutes. I hope I got enough content in there to be able to upload a video. I'm gonna have to get back and edit this and just check to see. Fingers crossed. If you're watching this, then yeah, it's up. But I've done a few videos like this on the fly before, just as they've come to me. Let's think of some. Hurlford United, and was it Hurlford Vicks, I think it may have been. I was driving through Hurlford, a little village in Scotland one day, and saw a poster which said "One Village, Two Trophies." I pulled over, googled it, and found out that yeah, it was an incredible year of football where 2 non-league teams won 2 sort of national trophies, and I made a video completely on the fly about that. How about in Portugal, when I was in Porto, I was packing my camera bag ready to go and make a Boa Vista video when I received a comment on a video I'd uploaded that morning telling me there was an abandoned stadium in Porto, and I went and visited that completely on the fly. And then this one here today in Milan, with the incredible old stadium behind me, maybe the oldest in Europe. I've made videos at Hallam before, who claim to have the oldest stadium in the world. I think it may be oldest continually used stadium just for football in the world, I want to say, whereas this obviously wasn't for football. Football probably wasn't even, people probably weren't even kicking balls in Milan when they built this place. I've also made a video at Mansfield as well, who they have the oldest football league stadium in the world, so like actual football league teams. Obviously Hallam are like non-league. I've also made a video at Sheffield FC, who are the oldest football club in the world. Although the team that play here were formed 23 years ago in the year 2000, they play at what I think must be the oldest stadium in Europe, unless you count one of the old ancient Greek ones, which I may have to visit as well. Like I say, I hope I got enough in there. I'm gonna have to come back for a game so I can really chat to people from the club and see what it means to them to play here, and also have a look inside those buildings a little bit more as well, and be able to show you a little bit more inside, as well as just like from like the pitch view as well. Looked like there was some incredible stuff, some old halls in there that I wasn't allowed to see because of the event that was going on. My favourite fact about it though is the Italian national team. I mean, yeah, Inter and AC have played there, and they must have had a lot of other like club games there, but the fact that Italy played their first ever national game there, and it was a 6-2 win over France. Italy and France, 2 of the biggest footballing nations that we know today, who have, you know, done so much for the game, created so many players, clubs, done so many things on the international stage as well, and they played their first ever game in that old stadium there. What was it, 1910 I think I said it was. So yeah, just absolutely amazing, the history of this place in Milan, and then you find out there's an old stadium like that. You've got to visit it on your last day here, don't you? So yeah, really happy that I got inside at the very least. So we're coming back up to the arch now. I'm going to head back to my hotel. I've got to get back, pack, book a bus to the airport, get to the airport, fly home, and it's apparently snowing in Scotland. The weather has been so good here in Milan. I usually like to come away this time of year because then you go back home, and this time last year I was in Portugal. You go back home, it's mid-March, and you know, hopefully the weather's a bit better, but it's gonna be snowing when I get back. Please do remember to hit that like button. I'll leave, I spoke about the Portuguese abandoned stadium, didn't I? So I'll leave that on screen. Please do watch that. It is an incredibly fascinating video. Again, one on the fly that I just tried to go to, turned up to, showed you a little bit of Porto as well. Really incredible. So please do click on that to carry on watching. Thank you very much, Milan. It has been a pleasure. Arrivederci.